because you don't know, because you haven't known, or you've had to kind of like do things in a very strategic way, or hold things down, or like hold the weight on your shoulders. Like you've had to be very deceptive yourself. Hello, Capricorn. My name is Kristen Simone Hansen, and welcome to SeaGoat Secrets. Hi Capricorn, I am Kristen and I am a healer. In this video, you are going to get a full rundown of Capricorn energy for the month of November for your career and how it affects you. I begin with the astrology and I end with a card reading. If at any point in this video you feel connected with me and you would like to become a client of mine, you can do so by joining this link here. And also in the bio, I welcome you. And as you all know, I am a global citizen. And if you have not already, let me know where you're listening from in the comments and we can all connect and be a strong collective. Now, with all that being said, let's get into this. Okay, Capricorn, hello. This is your career reading for the month of November. And there's a lot to be said here. Let's take a quick visit to the month of October and then we'll go back into November. So in the month of October, you got a hyper awareness of the ways in which you were standing in your own way and being flawed during that month. And why is this? Well, we looked at Libra and the Libra new moon, as well as Libra activation in general, but a hyper emphasis on your 10th house during your own Pluto retrograde, and also the retrograde in Saturn and the retrograde in Chiron and Aries. So all of these transits, as well as some others, like Neptune being in Pisces, all of these things put a hyper emphasis on how you were being, let's say, inadequate in terms of how it is that you were showing up at work. Some of you could have found yourselves losing jobs, losing positions, not being able to find positions, not being able to find the work that you desire. For those of you who are entrepreneurs, you were really aware of your shortcomings. But the beautiful thing is by the second half of October, many of you could have found your way outside of it. So whatever flaws it is that you discovered, whatever insecurities that found you in the first half, by the second half, you became aware of them and found solutions or found a way out. So this could simply be, if you were unemployed, finding some other things to do that can make you money. Other things could have simply been, if you lost one position, you found another. And if you worked for yourself, you saw the flaws and the shortcomings in terms of your work and was able to find, let's say, better solutions or a better way of going about things, better structure the second half of the month. Now, it doesn't mean that October was unsuccessful, but again, it was insecure. So even if you found success in what it is that you were doing, it could have been in a way where you still could have either been nitpicking yourself or wanting to do more than what it is that you were able to accomplish. In terms of legal matters, this, again, things could have been dormant in terms of legal matters, kind of like something kind of earring over your head, but not necessarily finding solutions. This is interesting because as we enter into the month of November, you can find a lot of legal matters can become finalized during the month of November. Things that you've been needing answers on that maybe you've been stalling on or have been stalled for you end up finding their great release during the month of November. Versus what they were doing in October, which is kind of like you finding out the nitty-gritty details of certain things. Again, looking at the parts in the parts of the car in that sense. So as you're leaving October, you're aware of your personal empowerment. This is something that started in the second half of October. Specifically, when we entered into Scorpio season, there's been so many topics and subjects around the way that you show up in the world and your identity. Since this is the career reading, I'll mention things like, again, politics, social politics, and where you navigate in this and how your work or your business is reflective of that. How do you maneuver in the realm of the industry that you're in. Who are you in this industry? What are your shortcomings? What are your fall points? What are your wins? Different things like that. And this, again, awakened you to your personal power. So second half made you aware of your personal empowerment. So the shortcomings in your personal empowerment and also your possible wins. So being able to identify that you could be doing more, or you can be more successful than you initially thought. But then also kind of balancing that or battling with that based on old insecurities. So let's bring it into November. As we begin the week of November, we've got a huge kick in, again, personal empowerment. I'm talking about this in the personal reading as well. So the first week comes in, and with Jupiter sextiling Chiron, new moon happening in Scorpio, Mercury going into Sag, Mars going into Leo, and the first quarter moon happening in Aqua, all of this is giving you a newfound awareness of, again, where you stand in relationship to the others. So it's almost like a download of your own uniqueness. And again, taking your power back, where your power is. That's the whole thing about Mars going into Leo. This is your 8th house for you. Okay. And 8th house is power, but it's also shadow, right? So this deep psychological, internal, and also ego awareness of how you have been weak and how you have compromised and how you have not done enough, where you need to be doing enough. And most importantly, where you can win, that maybe you thought you would lose, or maybe you weren't aware of what it is that you could do. And these shadows find you. Now, November can be a month of power struggles because of this, but it's the kind of power struggles that are there to test you so that you can come up on the other side with better solutions, so that you can move from a space of more empowerment than a space of the hyper responsible and yet and still passive person. Okay. And when we're looking at the new moon in Scorpio, again, it's a renewal in the way you show up in the world in terms of your social identity and your social network. So a lot of you will find yourself going through a lot of social media renewal when it comes to your work, especially for those of you who work for yourself, sending out resumes for those of you who are looking for positions, or renewing the idea of side hustles that you once thought could not come into fruition. You're giving things a bang. You're coming out with a bang, basically, when we're looking into November, and kind of looking your insecurities in the face and giving them a wink, really. And that's what you're going through when it comes to the shadow aspects of Mars. Mercury in Sagittarius makes you insecure in the way in which you communicate, but that insecurity is something that's going to help you refine your approach, which is very nice. As we go into the second week, we've got Venus going into your sign as Capricorn, which is a powerhouse because Capricorn is great in terms of business. So you are aware of where the money is, and you want to feel nourished by your finances. You want to feel nourished by your financial footprint. And this makes it so that you are very zoned in on this. Saturn also goes direct, which is wonderful. So we've got double packed energy backing you up along with the full moon going into Taurus. So this is wonderful for you guys as Capricorns when it comes to your work. Full moon in Taurus is your sister energy, your 5th house activation. So again, any ways in which you've been standing on your own way when it comes to pleasure and what it is that you can achieve for yourself, including large amounts of financial comforts, including living a more pleasurable and balanced life and having a work-life balance where you're creating more and doing less, or generating more and being able to do less. So all of these sectors get awakened during the second week, which is nice. And again, you hyper focus on your finances and feeling more abundant and more comfortable in that energy. And you then get focused on your personal presentation or your LinkedIn, how you are showing up becomes a point of importance to you. Headshots being done. There's something about you that says, you know what? I can do this. I know who it is that I am. This personal empowerment is here, and you need to get in charge of your social image, and also using your sensuality and your beauty as a part of one of your marketing tools. When we go into week 3, we've got Pluto finally going into Aquarius. We've got Sun entering Sagittarius, and the last quarter moon going into Virgo. So the beautiful thing about Virgo and Sagittarius is they also are signs that love their business. And Pluto going into Aquarius, this is where you're focused back on your wealth, right? all of these things that led you up until this point, especially as Capricorn was in retrograde in your sign, or just in Pluto in general, was forcing you to go back into yourself and your own identity with a fine-tooth comb and taking out whatever insecurities still live there. So when Pluto goes into Aquarius, it's saying, okay, those old insecurities you've pushed out, and now you are here, now you are standing. What will you do with it, right? Back to the focus on the $1 million energy in the chart with Pluto going into Aquarius. So your personal sense of wealth, your personal sense of worth becoming a big marketing tool for you when it comes to your work. You're not settling anymore. You know what it is that you can achieve for yourself. You know what it is that you can acquire for yourself. And you guys really want to expand financially. That's one of the biggest things that are in your mind for the month of November. Financial expansion and identity expansion, as in kind of showing up in a way that's more charming in terms of the way that you do what it is that you do. With Sun going into Sag, and then the next week, Mercury goes retrograde into Sagittarius. So it's, again, asking you to look at your 12th house. What are your dreams? What are your actual aspirations? And what do you really want to achieve? And for a lot of you, like I said, this is a big focus on the kind of financial footprint that you want to have, the kind of financial profile that you want to have, the kind of life, pleasurable life that you want to live. This Taurus full moon is good in the second week because it brings you into a headspace as it ends us in the month, right? Because the full moon goes on for 2 months. It brings you into a headspace where you are very focused on how much more pleasure you can have and how things can be easier now, especially now that Pluto has left your sign. All you want is grace, right? The relationship with the Aquarius Pluto is one of grace for Capricorn, and it makes it so that you start to have this psychological or subconscious dream state in terms of living a more graceful life. And that's where the focus on, again, your finances, creating more of that footprint. How can things be easier? Whatever battles that it is that you faced, you don't want to face these battles again. You don't want to feel victimized again, especially when it comes to legal matters. You don't want to go through this kind of battle again. So what can you do to prevent it? What can you do to ensure that you don't go through it again? You know, self-worth and self-wealth is the thing that drives you through the month of November. So we're talking about big changes when it comes to your career. A lot of you guys can find yourself getting financial increase based solely on grit, the work that you put in terms of just having more confidence with what it is that you do, and also creating more, generating more. Especially for those of you who are entrepreneurs, you're refocused on the things that matter in terms of your career and less focused because, like I mentioned in the personal reading, which can be found here, personal empowerment being the driving force, you're less focused on the things that kind of get you mucky. You've been healing so much throughout the year, but throughout the month of November, it's less focus on healing in a sense. And I talked about this in the healing circle. I'll link that here. I keep linking all the links so you guys know them, but the healing circle can be linked here. Join us. It's a membership here on YouTube. But I was talking about it in the healing circle when it comes to personal empowerment and how personal empowerment is the driving force in terms of what's going on in the subconscious, right? You want to draw people to you, want to draw things to you, but you want to do it in a way where you want to feel more like the honey and everyone comes to you like bees, right? It's from a more confident place and not so much of an insecure place. And so this gives you a kick in terms of your financial life and your career life, because where there is confidence, there is progression, and there is, most importantly, growth. So that's what I've got for you, and we're going to get into the reading now. All right, so Capricorn, here we are with your reading. So when it comes to this energy, one of the biggest things that we see here that it's really bursting out to me is reciprocity. And it's interesting because I kind of mentioned this energy in one of the other readings. I'm not sure which one. I think it was either the personal or love reading, but here we are seeing it in the career, and this is the thing that makes me the most excited because, deserving to get some give and take. Especially when we're talking about Capricorn, it's like not feeling so much like everything has to be like every tree that grows in your garden is one that you've had to find the seeds, grow the seeds, peel the seeds, actually find the initial plant, bring the plant to a certain place, take the seed from the plant, plant the plant, you know, the whole, it's finally some reciprocity, finally some give and take, right? Some equal give and take with the sun. Oh, with the sun. How beautiful is that? And I love that the sun came underneath the Six of Pentacles, like it's illuminating that energy, like it's bursting it through, like reciprocity and all of this light, bright brilliance underneath it, like when you have light underneath something that's being presented, you know, it's like it just adds so much more power to it, like when you're introduced to someone who has love, you know, who is loved by others. You feel it when you're around people that they're loved by someone. It's like that energy. So this is accompanied here with separation, and this is also backed up by acts. So the thing about this clarity is we've got double confirmation on separation. Right? What does it mean to separate an end and a pattern? Again, this feels similar to what we've been seeing, which is the end of a pattern, the end of an awareness, the end of an experience, right? Abandoning something. Because one of the biggest things when we look at what's above it is that uncertainty of the future. What does it mean to separate from the fear of what will be? Uncertainty, misguidedness, misalignments, you know, this fear that has been running through you guys, especially again, because when we're talking about career and finances, I always mention that it's not just what's going on with just work, you know, it's not just for the entrepreneur, it's for everyone. You know, can you get the job? Can you get the position? Will you financially be able to go from one step to the other? And it also requires or aligns with, you know, practical matters, mortgages, home sales, legal matters, you know, finally being able to feel like you're not in this alone. Somebody is there to help you. There's a hand that's there to reach out and touch you in this case. And it ends a pattern. It ends the pattern of uncertainty. One of the biggest things here is, especially for those of you guys who work for yourselves, your clients are going to have your back this month. You're going to see a financial return, a financial reciprocity from the divine, obviously, but shows up in the reflection of many different aspects, many different parts of how it is that you make your money. And that is going to end the pattern tied to uncertainty, tied to this missing out energy, this unstable kind of on and off, in and out of not feeling completely abundant energy. It's right. It begins the era of stability because there is always an equal give and take. What it is that you have been giving, what it is that you have been working toward, what it is you've been working hard on, is finally feeling like this is the return on your investment. This is the stability that you've been looking for. This is the wide amount of abundance that you have been looking to achieve and experience. We've got what's going on in your shadow. We've got Onisha Cutlass with Onisha Cowrie. So what's interesting here is these are usually what would be identified as knights. And so we see this fear of what will be said and what will happen. So as the knights move forward, because the Knight of Swords is the fastest knight, I would say, faster than the Knight of Wands. The Knight of Wands is a reckless knight, but the Knight of Swords is a quick, fast, unstoppable knight. And the Knight of Cowrie is the slowest knight. He's moving as slow and methodical and as practical as possible. So either way, we've got the fear that goes along here based on what it is that will be, who will come towards you in this sense, right? Almost as if recklessness comes towards you and the thing that you desire the most moving in too slowly. The fear of what moves in quickly because of what it will be, and the fear of what moves in too slowly. It's an interesting intersection of just basically being out of control of the dynamic, especially when we're talking about Six of Pentacles, because again, Six of Pentacles is what comes towards you, who comes towards you, right? What's giving back to you. And it's like that fear of what will be given back to you, what will come of this, right? But of course, we have no fear here as we understand that you are ending a pattern. When we look at what's going on with the advice here, we've got relax the hold of darkness and be at cause. She feels, she knows. Both of those things are the deepening of the energy. I mean, just feels so good. My goodness, especially when we have the sun. Oh my God, the sun. Oh, this is like, I don't say things like this, but this is like the kind of energy that can warrant luck as well, that can warrant like extreme abundance, like borderline inheritance type energy, or just a burst in your career, a burst in your brilliance in that sense that really works out in your favor, or again, a matter that you've been really afraid of, right? Like it can be a legal decision or something along those lines. And then all of a sudden there's this interjection and you win, like you're okay. People see you, they hear you, you've been heard, you've been felt. And that's why we have here, relax the hold of darkness and be at cause, what she feels she knows. That's a deepening of an energy of understanding that you are okay. Deepen the understanding of being okay, of being fully realized in that okayness. It's all right. Trust your intuition. You're okay. The pattern is over. I also think here it's like an indication of you being thought about as well, being considered. You can relax that hold, right? Relax the hold of darkness and the impact that it has on you. Let's look at the healing points. So that's a water energy. That's usually my high priestess energy, but it's like the high priestess in her vixen state. Your biology and gender are creative and powerful means for you to express your soul path. Sometimes you may feel limited by gender constraints or stereotypes, but your spirit can never be restricted or controlled. Embrace the journey of what it feels like to be you in your own body. There is much benefit in healing to be gained through an embrace of your life journey, including the deeper experience of absolute freedom of spirit. So I know that's very specific in terms of gender and things like that, but when it comes to this card and this energy, it's more about the deepening of understanding that you are enough as you are. So now, if there is some kind of sensual means when it comes to what it is that you're doing, that's a little bit different. But in this case, it's more about understanding that you can relax the hold of obviously your anxieties, your fears, the darkness, the dark era that this thing has been putting you through, whether it is, again, what's going on with work, what's going on with legal matters, what's going on with your money, feeling fear about your businesses and what it is that you shall do. There is a darkness that is being removed because you are it. You've got it. People like you. People like you. People want to see you win just because you're you. And that's what's so beautiful about this energy. Again, it's like it's releasing the fears, because it just goes back into a space of like, yeah, a lot of things are wrong, but you're right. A lot of things you did wrong, but hey, you're right. and that alone, that charm, that understanding of yourself, that understanding of who it is that you are, that beautiful sun energy that comes in and illuminates that for you is going to be enough. That is going to be enough. And then when we look underneath that, I mean, God, this reading is just so natural. It flows so organically. When we look at the bottom here, this is also fire energy for me. It's my Leo. It is my sometimes I look at it as my strength card, but again, it's like double confirmation on sun energy, on intensified Leo sun energy. 888. You have, and I love that we're seeing 888, and we're almost at the end of the year of the 8. Your heart has a heightened connection with the higher realms of consciousness and light. A blessing, empowerment, and positive omen shall enter your world. Doors will open for you. Abundance and prosperity are headed your way. Take care of your heart. Ask for spiritual assistance, and it shall be granted. Something negative is going to transform into something very positive, right? I mean, you can't get any more blunt than this in terms of this reading. It's like, yeah, you're good. You're good. You've got it. There's just so much, there's just such a positive push that's moving you forward throughout it's like the end of an era. Like, we keep talking about it, but when it shows out in the cards, my God, it feels like, it almost feels like a little too good to be true in a way, but obviously we see obstacle here. We see an experience here. But and I think it's interesting that for you guys, what breaks you out of the shadow is reciprocity. Obviously it would be nice to see the sun with the 10 of Pentacles. That I think would be perfect, right? The sun with the King of Pentacles or the Empress or something like that. But it's the sun with 6 of Pentacles. You heal as you let other people pour into you. it's you getting the give back for what it is that you've been giving, all that hard work that you've been putting in, all that hustle, that struggle that you've been putting in, you know, that you feel like people haven't been seeing, that you feel like hasn't been realized. The things you've done behind the scenes. Again, if you're dealing with legal matters and feeling like the weight of the world is kind of on your shoulders, it's like someone's going to give you a break here, because you're seen for who it is that you are. There's a powerful blessing entering your experience. It's the greatest thing about this Lionsgate omen. It's a powerful omen. Where you have this along with the sun, with the relaxed hold of darkness, she feels, she knows. It's like every single element of this is just so... Ooh, it's intense. It's like, it's going to be okay. More than it's going to be okay, but it's just like, it's okay because it's like the deepening of the experience of seeing other people do for you what you have done for others. People being able to really appreciate you, appreciate the value of what it is that you do, appreciate the quality of what it is that you do, be able to help you in situations that you thought you would not get help in, right? Being able to lift the weight. For in a very blunt way, a lot of you guys can be getting loans, grants, assistance, you know, like things that you really need in order to help you progress forward, in order to help you financially. Inheritances as well. Excuse me one second. Inheritances as well. Yeah, it's just, I mean, it's beautiful. It's such an advancement. It's such a, and this feels as good as the as good as the love reading felt, you know, like it's just so nice. It's just so, I just want to say you're okay. You're okay now. It returns now. It gives back to you now. No more uncertainty, no more fears. It's just illumination. When we look at the bottom of the tarot deck, we have the Seven of Swords in reverse, for my goodness sake. It's like the Seven of Swords in reverse is letting you know deception is no longer afoot. Deception does not exist here anymore. And you yourself don't need to strategize or deceit either to try to get to the other side of what it is that you're trying to do, because you feel like you can't be blunt or straightforward about what it is that you have going on. The Seven of Swords is in reverse. Deception is no longer, right? And then in the Clarity deck, we have Mask. This is interesting because the Clarity deck, I think, is with separation, with acts, and then we have Mask. Mask is not showing your true feelings, hiding, kind of being misguided, in a sense, misguiding. So I would say more than anything, when it comes to this energy, a lot of you could have been deceiving yourself. You could have been kind of strategizing and kind of hiding yourself. And that has been because of this uncertainty or whatever it is that you have been yearning for, feeling like you don't know how to really get it. And that pattern ends. It's put to an end. It gets put to a close now. You can be more vocal, right? As we look at what's going on in the advice, it's focused on the light as the overarching energy. You're okay. You're just, and then we have wish fulfillment, for goodness sake. So wish fulfillment, I'll read it for you. This is the overarching energy of what's going on in the healing point. As an earth energy. You can have what you truly want. You can have what you truly want. Such knowledge helps soften and release fear, grasping control, and doubt. Have confidence that the universe hears your prayers and has heard you this entire time. You know, a lot of the time when we're not getting what it is that we desire, or these moments happen where this instability is there, or things feel like they aren't coming into a full close, a lot of that is refinement. How many businesses are born through loss? How many endeavors are born through uncertainty? Have confidence that the universe hears your prayers and is even now leading you into that which you seek. You can take sanctuary within your spiritual connection whenever you need stabilization and protection against the fluctuations of the external world. No matter what is happening around you, there's a way through to the fulfillment of your potential. Yeah, and that's the thing, especially when we're looking at what's going on with the clarity deck. It feels like you guys have had to hide because you don't know, because you haven't known, or you've had to kind of like do things in a very strategic way, or hold things down, or like hold the weight on your shoulders. Like you've had to be very deceptive yourself, and that era is over because you're being seen, helped, heard, and understood. When we've got the shadow deck at the bottom, it's the Nine of Cups, or Nine of Calabash in reverse. So you're afraid that you're not going to get your wish fulfillment. And I think more than anything, especially because the Nine of Swords, the the Knights, the Onesia Cutlass can kind of be like a bully, you know? The Knight of Swords is definitely a bully, similar to the King of Swords, you know? Somebody who can come in, kind of, pick a fight with you, tell you what will be and what won't be, you know? And it's like that fear of that consequence in that sense. It's not too bad. You guys don't feel, there's like a faith that you have here because there's a major arcana in the subject. So this sun is powerful. There's a major illumination of help, assistance, again, reciprocity, financial return, especially for those of you who are business owners. You know, you have whatever it is that you've been giving to is going to be given back to you. You're going to see the returns on your investments, and that is powerful. And that's what ends the pattern of uncertainty in terms of what it is that has been going on up until this point. So when we look at the two Onesias, we see that they are minors, right? But at the end of the day, at the back of your head, it is that fear of like, who's going to come running? You know what I mean? Like, who's going to attack you, what situation is going to take place, you know, and for some of you, especially when it comes to legal matters, it's like a fear of consequence, you know, fear of what will be. And then with the Cowrie Onesia, it's again, this slow movement in that sense of not necessarily the fear of patience, but like that balance of, how do you say, I'm trying to find the way to say it, like the things that you really need not coming in as fast as you need them to, and I guess the consequences of your actions coming in quickly. Let's get clarity here. What is it that you need to know? What is it that you need to feel? What is it that you need to be doing? Who is it that you need to be? All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4. What is it that you need to know? What is it that you need to feel? What is it that you need to be doing? Who is it that you need to be? What is it that you need to know? Let me know what Capricorn needs to know. Move through me. All right. What is it that you need to know? What is it that you need to feel? What is it that you need to be doing? Who is it that you need to be? At the bottom there, we see the Ace of Wands, right? So what is it that you need to know? The Temperance. Speaking more on balance. What is it that you need to feel? This devil, oh my goodness, this devil has been coming out nonstop. What is it that you need to do? Who is it that you need to be? Wow. Wow. All right, we're going to get some clarity from the career deck as well. As what is it that you need to know? What is it that you need to feel? What is it that you need to do? Who is it that you need to be? The devil has been finding you guys in so many readings ever since October, right? Ever since October, it's like, remind them who the daddy devil is, right? That's you guys, daddy devil, daddy Saturn. All right, what is it that you need to know? Wait for it. What is it that you need to know? Tell me what they need. Oh, a card fell. What is it that you need to know? What is it you need to feel? To do? What is it that you need to be? The card that fell is fruits of your labor. And at the bottom, we've got knowledge. Wow, my goodness. I apologize for yelling in your ear, Capricorn. Feel. No. Well then, look at this. Look at this. The card that fell out was fruits of your labor. Remember how we were talking about this with this Six of Pentacles, equal give and take energy? It is time to reap the fruits of your labor and become rich in your energy. Rich gain is here. Richness is here to find you. And then at the bottom of the deck was knowledge. But as they say, thou who increases knowledge increases sorrow. It's time to learn and develop. So what is it that you need to know? We've got the Temperance here with social status. You will reach the heights of fame in society. Don't get arrogant. The thing about this energy, the Temperance is all about balance, right? And that's why I mentioned it when it comes to the Six of Pentacles, because the Six of Pentacles for me is also about balance. You know, the balance of what gives and what receives. The Temperance is the same. It's understanding emotional navigation when it comes to this month. What will you give your energy to versus what you won't? And the Temperance is a deep feeling energy because it's a major arcana. You know, if you find out that someone, if you're on the mind of someone and they think of you as a Temperance, you know, sometimes people can think that's an easygoing, cool toned energy, but it's not. The Empress is a deep knowing of something, but it's coming to terms with it. It's acceptance. It's acceptance of the experience, right? So when we're looking at what is it that you need to know, there is great balance here. And again, we see this reciprocity because the Temperance can also mean in a moment in term as being felt. I'm sorry, felt. The energy of being felt and this increase in your status as well. There is balance here. There is balance. And this feels again like other people feeling and understanding you. The Temperance is not apathy. It's awareness. And that helps increase you. And this is, again, the thing that I was saying where it's like for a lot of you, job increase, financial increase. For you, when it comes to your work, it's like you get this rise and you develop this kind of even toned energy and the attraction to you is the same, right? Like in the traditional sense of the Temperance, we've got water moving into the other, but in this case, the wings are equally yoked. When we look at who it is that you need to, what is it that you need to feel is Daddy Devil. Daddy is back and he's here with savings, right? Needing to put something off, create more for the future. In terms of this energy, again, it's like asking you to go into your power space. This has been coming out so frequently. It's like it is time for you to step into your power, right? When Capricorn is asked to be the devil, because you're also the King of Pentacles, and we see the King of Pentacles coming down there. Archetypally, you guys are the Queen of Pentacles, but when we see the King of Pentacles, it's still asking you to be a version of yourself still. But when we're talking about you going into the space of being the devil, it's you knowing your power, knowing where your personal empowerment comes in. It's asking you to really get into the nitty gritty when it comes to business as well, knowing your charm, being both the person who is strategic and navigating, but then also charming, knowing how to put a situation to its end goal. It's all power for you, the power of being the devil. Which I love. I love that for you guys. And it's also understanding where, again, you're knowing where to put your energy and where not to put it. It's all about energetic preserve because you know your power, right? When you know your power, you know what not to give away and how to receive more. And this month, especially when it comes to career and finance, is all about receiving, keeping as much as you can, more than giving it away. Right? And using strategy to do that because you're getting an increase in your social status. You're getting an increase in who it is that you are. And it's coming in a very cool and even toned way. What is it that you need to be doing is the Six of Cups and understanding where to go when it comes to your direction. So in a very simple term, for some of you, I would say it's going back to your old plans and bringing them into modern day life. So what things do you need to clean up? Okay. What contracts, what legal matters have been going on for a very long time? What business ideas and business deals have you been putting off for a long period of time? You find your refuge in the past when you bring it here into the future and stay the course when it comes to the direction. There are projects that you know you've been wanting to complete. There are ideas that you've been wanting to do, and now you're in a space where you're being released and there is a give and take. So if it's a project in specific that you've been wanting to do for a very long time, now you have the clientele. Now you have the customer base. Now you are able to create the followers. Now you are able to generate what it is that you need. Focus on that and create the plan for what it is that you want, right? Do not allow your dreams to be deferred. We're stepping into who it is that you need to be. I love this as we have the King of Pentacles. The King of Pentacles, which is another big daddy energy. And that's there with free from problems, money troubles, enjoy with passion, love and be loved. So this in a very simple way when it comes to who it is that you need to be. I mean, hello, a boss. You need to feel very empowered and very powerful in your own intensified devil Satyrian energy, right? Full of knowledge and awareness, depth and all of the above. And also you need to be the King of Pentacles. So feel that devil, feel that power in your veins, right? Navigate through that and allow it to shape you as being the King of Pentacles, the King of Earth, right? The person who is very focused on your financial abundance, your progression, all right? Your power. Especially again, like I keep saying, when it comes to those of you who are dealing with like contractual things or not necessarily just the bare bones of money or what you're doing when it comes to your career, but other little nits and crannies in terms of details. It's about knowing your power, cleaning up the past in a way that is much more confident. And when you're looking at love life, love and be loved, it's like, I know I'm the boss. It's like knowing that you're the boss, knowing that you deserve the abundance, knowing where your authority stands, knowing where your authority lies, right? It's like, it's not doing things with a sense of fear. And also when we look back at this temperance in terms of what it is that you need to know, it's this even toned energy, right? Because sometimes when we don't know our status in the world, that's what creates anxiety. As I always say, we give rise to ego by being insecure. Right? When you are insecure about the role that you play in the world, when you are insecure about who it is that you are, it can create a constant state of instability when it comes to your status in the world. There's an even-toned awareness of the self. There's a lot of confidence that can be found in the temperance. This is what's beautiful about this. No more emotional instability, these emotional ups and downs. It's coming from a space of balance, knowing your power, preserving your energy, bringing back those things that you need to do and finalize and create solid plans, and know that you are moving into a space where you're free from money troubles, free from these life issues that have been burdening you down. As we see behind there, it's ending the pattern. It's the breakup, the end of the paradigm that you've been experiencing. Similar to what we saw in the other readings, the sun is here. You're getting this equal give and take. You're now in a space where you can understand that. It's time to love and be loved in that energy, right? Free yourself of the issues. Put yourself in the power seat to end the problems. If you're being insecure about your work, if you've been insecure about your business, whatever it is that has been giving rise, where you've been giving rise to others' egos in terms of your insecurities, that's what gets put to bed as your social status rises this time. You guys are going to feel very good. Very good. I like this. When you put it out, people are seeing it and they like it. Especially when we look at the devil here, with what was going on with this card in the back, my divine feminine card, that again is talking a lot about personal empowerment. Knowing your sugar, the sugar in your bowl, knowing your appeal. It's about self. It's about knowing, again, it's reciprocity for this month. So it's less about you putting in so much work, and it's more about, again, the work that you've already put in, especially when we're talking about the past, right, is already here to clean up and give you what it is that you need now in the present. All right. So this month is not necessarily about hustle. It's about the hustle you've already done, finally being illuminated, which is nice. I like this, right? And it's like the work that you do is coming from a much sexier place, a much more, you're ready to be that King of Pentacles, be the King of Pentacles. Put an end to the problems, put an end to the imbalances, the imbalance of abundance, most importantly. I love this. I'm loving this. Because like we said, fruits of labor, right? And I think where we saw knowledge at the bottom of the deck as well, it's like anything that you need to be doing in order to finalize whatever things you've been dealing with in the past. Do the research, do what it is that you need to do to create this direction so you can put an end to it, so you can be here, the King of Pentacles. The King of Pentacles with this energy is very, fully realized in that sense, because the King of Pentacles is the king that is free of money problems. He's free of usually love life issues as well, because he's got himself the King of Pentacles. And the sweet, the King of Pence and the Queen of Pence tend to have a very solid, they're the most stable relationship in the minors, whereas the King and Queen of Swords is of divorce. The King and Queen of Wands is a very passionate affair, but usually they struggle to create solidarity together. And the King and Queen of Cups also have a very beautiful emotional relationship, but they don't always come with the same amount of stability. The King and Queen of Pentacles can create the happy wife, happy life dynamic, you know, where everything is everything and everything is in where it is that it needs to be. Those of you who have heard the phrase everything is everything before know what I mean by that. It's like fullness in that sense. I am that I am, you know. But okay, this is what I've got for you guys, and I love this. This is it's just great. It's just happy. It's great. I can't really say much else about it. I don't know. I want to dig deeper. I want to dive deeper, but I have to be honest when I say this just feels like, I don't know, like I guess as the month continues, there's just this brightness that's going to come. So I guess let it come. All right, so that's what I have for you guys. I love you. Ciao.